I just bought the cheapest M5 in the world and instantly modified it and blew it up. And in today's video, we're gonna see if in under 24 hours, we can take apart this engine and fix the damage that we caused. Can we do it? Let's find out.
Yup, you heard me right. I'm financially into this M5 cheaper than a clapped 328i. And after trading my old 550i build for it, we instantly modded it and shredded the tires. And then this popped up.
Guys, my M5's engine kind of blew up. Let me explain. I'm currently getting some pretty bad variable valve time codes. And if you know anything about BMW engines, they're super complicated. And the problem with that is that I have a lot of mods that I want to put onto this M5 to make it really, really fast. And in today's video, we're gonna be tackling and doing open heart surgery on my M5 engine to hopefully fix the problem so that way we could put, downpipes, intercoolers, bigger intakes, you name it, we're doing it. So based off all my current research, the problem that we're having is related to the vanos gear on one of my camshafts. This engine has 4 camshafts, 2 on each head. Part of the reason why this is such a big, complicated job is, can you guys even see the engine? Like, all I see is a bunch of crap, a bunch of tubes and pipes and boxes and lines and hoses, and I can't even see the engine. Part of working on these complicated BMW engines is you gotta remove so much crap to actually get to the engine. This is by far the biggest BMW job I have ever done. I'm not a mechanic. Neither Noah or I have any formal training on being a mechanic or BMWs in general. We're kind of morons when it comes to this stuff. To give you guys a better oversight on what exactly the problem is, I drew it out for you. Let me show you. So as you guys know, the M5 is a V8. This right here is the front of the V8 engine. It has 4 cams, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 2 timing chains. It has 1 here and 1 here. And this is a close-up diagram of the top part of the head. And that's where our problem is. You see, the code that I'm getting is that at cold start, one of these solenoids is reading way too far retarded. We gotta fix that. We can't have the engine too far retarded. On the top of the head, there are 2 camshafts. And at the end of each camshaft, there is a gear. This is the vanos cam gear. And this gear specifically advances and retards the cam to what the engine wants. While this is fairly complicated, it gives you the added benefit of having a very stable lower RPM range with good fuel economy and high performance up in the higher RPMs. It's pretty cool actually, not when it fails though. And what we have to do today is tear apart the engine and replace one of those cam gears. Because the engine at cold start is reading too far retarded, this thing is probably toast. And these blue things right here are what's called vanos solenoids. These things. So these things get an electronic signal from the DME or the ECU that basically actuate how much pressure gets sent to these cam gears to then advance or retard accordingly. Now, I previously already went ahead and replaced both of these with brand new ones. This is actually the old one out of the motor already. Let's take a look at how that went.
So after doing the multi-hour job to remove the old solenoids situated on the front of the head, I replaced them with these high-quality aftermarket ones. This was to potentially cross off the possibility of these failing, which in turn would result in a code where the cam gear would be out of whack. This was the cheapest first course of action, but yeah, this didn't fix it.
Let's start her up and see what happens.
All right, here goes nothing.
Okay. Usually if it drops, oh, and we're, fuck. Nope. Well, I guess we didn't fix it, guys. Drivetrain malfunction's back.
I also tried something, let's say, a little bit more experimental.
Okay, so unfortunately, as you guys saw, the solenoids didn't do the trick, which means that we're going down a pretty rough path. Likely, the problem is the vanos gear and actuator, which is bolted onto the end of the cam and a part of the big timing chain circuit, which is no fun. As one of my last few Hail Marys, we're gonna try a good old school trick. Now, this is 100% real. I recommend do not try this at home. But I'm gonna say fuck it, because this is the most clapped out M5 and we gotta treat it that way. This is ATF, automatic transmission fluid. This goes inside of a transmission, not an engine by any means, but it does have some pretty good detergent qualities, and if that cam gear is getting stuck because it has 130,000 miles and there's like some sludge buildup, well, this might be able to break it loose. While I'm not super hopeful, we're gonna give it a shot. And I'm just using an empty liquid moly bottle because I need about a quart. But as you can see, this is red. This is the real stuff here. So we'll just fill this up, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. Oh, this just feels so wrong. There you go. Ooh, red ATF going into my BMW M5. Here's the good news. It's only a quart. This thing takes 9.5 liters of oil. So a quart, not gonna make that much of a difference, but hopefully will be enough to act as a detergent. Okay, the car's been running for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna take it a few laps up and down the street, and then we'll drain the oil hot, which is important. Let's do it. Okay, so I drained the oil hot. It was kind of messy. And now I'm gonna put in this. Okay, we got our ZW40, once again, BMW Long Life 01 rated, which is essential when you're working on your Beamer. So, here we go. Nothing better than getting experimental on your high mileage M5.
Needless to say, this also did not fix my problem. Looks like the only way out of this is to dive straight into the heart of the engine. But first, let's see what a BMW dealer would charge for what I need fixed. After calling around for nearly an hour, no one could give me a straight answer. Even the BMW techs seemed like they did not want to do the job. Although about an hour later, I got this voicemail from one of the dealers.
We spoke earlier on your F10 M5. I was able to find out that info for you. To do what you're requesting, it looks like it's got a book time of 21 hours. So that'd be $5,985 in labor. The part is a special order part, coming in at $915. Do with that info what you will. Let me know if you have any questions. Definitely can diagnose it further for you before you get into it. But give me a call back. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no way am I going to spend $7,000 on this. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Now that you're all caught up to speed, unfortunately, those vanos solenoids didn't fix the problem, leading this to be the only other issue. This expensive piece of BMW engineering right here. Ironically, there's only one bolt that holds this thing onto the engine. It's just, you gotta take out like 300 other bolts to get to it. So today I'm gonna show you by far the biggest open heart surgery job we've ever done on a BMW, but hopefully it fixes the problem so that way we can stuff a ton of performance mods into this engine and make it faster than ever. Let's get to cranking. What makes this job so critical and tedious is that by removing one of the cam gears, we're gonna be taking slack out of the timing chain, which means if we don't put everything back exactly where BMW intended it to be, this engine will blow up 100% of the time as soon as we try to start it, because the engine won't be timed properly anymore. So we're putting everything on the line right now to make sure that this gets done properly. So now that you're all caught up to speed, I guess it's time to start tearing apart this M5. Let's get to it. Okay, and now we have clear access to the top of the radiator fan, which is right here. Now, on an M5, I'm not sure, I'll put a schematic on the screen for you guys. The amount of cooling systems that this car has is mind-boggling. It's not just like a typical radiator and an intercooler. It's like, there's like 4 or 5 different radiators. There's a million different lines that go. There's, like I said, the DME, the actual computer of the car, has a backing plate that's water-cooled. And then obviously the intercoolers are air to water. Needless to say, complicated and expensive if you break anything. And before I forget, let's go disconnect the battery, because you really don't want to be messing with any of the electrical, especially removing the DME, which is what we're going to have to do later when the battery's connected. Let's go do that. So it's just one 10 mil underneath this plate. Right there. There you go. Negative is removed. This is like hydraulic or electronic, so really not supposed to do this, but just in case it doesn't get latched, put that over there. Now we're good to go. Now that the battery's safely disconnected, we can start removing, I believe there's just 2 connectors for this fan. Should just pull apart, boom, and then same thing right here, boom. And now is the fun part, is I have to move all these cooler lines out of the way without breaking any of them. All right, guys, after a lot of back and forth, there you go. I don't even want to think how expensive this thing is. Look at all the little flapper doors in it. I mean, this thing is just so over-engineered, it's kind of funny. But we'll set this aside, but now, look at the ample amount of room we have to remove this big-ass intercooler. So we now need to pause and take a few minutes to go underneath the car to do one thing. We need to drain, like I said, one of the many radiators that this car has One of them being right here, and this is basically a radiator for the intercooler system. And because I'm removing that intercooler, I need to remove all the fluid from that system. But they make it pretty easy. It's just one hose right here. I'm gonna try to collect it into a bottle so I can reuse it. But yeah, this cooling system is different than the one for the motor. It's like completely separate fluids that don't mix. It's crazy. Okay guys, I went ahead and I disconnected all the lines going to the intercooler. It's actually not that difficult. There's a few hose clamps, a little, few sensor connections, and we should be able to just pop this bad boy out. You gotta wiggle it up. There we go, look at that, and we're out. And there is one sensor on the bottom that you can't get to until you remove it. And there it is, right there. And look, by draining and going through that process, look how like nothing leaks out of here. It's pretty cool. There you go. That, my friends, is a BMW M5 intercooler with an integrated throttle body. Pretty crazy stuff. This one's also pretty cooked, but that's fine. Because if we could fix this, I got some sick, upgraded performance intercoolers for this engine coming. Okay guys, it's been about 45 minutes, and quite frankly, I've absolutely just been grinding, not filming anything. As you can see, the guts of the entire car are just splayed out. You can actually see the valve cover now. So this is actually pretty sick. Right here is the water-cooled DME, as you can see, with a bunch of connectors. This is a disgusting harness right here. And this houses, injector harness, coil harness, fuel rail, fuel pressure pump. You have the DME connectors. I don't know, kind of overwhelming, not gonna lie.
While we're in the middle of removing pretty much everything, I've got the very important, essential job of tracking everything that we're doing, because we're two numbnuts that don't know what the fuck we're doing most of the time. And we're trying to figure it out. So obviously, we have a notepad with basically everything that's happening, writing it down so that way when we decide to put everything back together, we know exactly what to do.
Right here is the high pressure fuel pump, and then we gotta remove the fuel rail. So this big metal line with all these fuel lines.
Got the turbo right there.
This is obviously, I believe, the wastegate, some other bracketry, but we can actually see the valve cover. So this is pretty huge. The gear that we're gonna be replacing will be right underneath this cover. It'll be right here in this part of the bank. And essentially, we're really close, guys. We've already done the bulk of the work. Okay, guys, I just took the last bolt for the fuel rail out, so it should just pop right out if I'm correct. Oh yeah. Wow, not much fuel leaked. There you go. That is the Medusa of fuel rails if I've ever seen one. I mean, look at that. I want to imagine how expensive this thing is to replace if you need to. All these lines are fixed to the fuel rail. They don't unbolt. It reminds me of when you were a kid and you had the little, play with the little blocks and they had the little things that moved.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. Each one of these little things are the injectors. There's 4 of them. This is the high pressure fuel pump. These are cam position sensors, but we can leave those in. I hear that this car has really, really bad injectors in the sense that they don't like to come out. Sometimes they get seized in there. So I bought a special slide hammer extractor tool if we need to. Hopefully we don't. All right, let's pull the injectors out.
So after getting the injectors out, we went ahead and pulled the valve cover off. It's likely this valve cover has not been off the car since it left the factory in Germany. Hey, and with all things considered, the engine actually looked really good inside. Little to no varnish and no oil sludge. Hey, even though this car has been through the ringer, it's been very well maintained. Once removing the tensioner plate and taking the slack out of the timing chain, we marked the chain with a marker and then pulled the gear out. Without letting go, we immediately slipped the new one in, aligning it with where the old one was removed. And if we don't get this right, the engine will 100% explode when I go to start it up. Having an engine out of time is no joke. After torquing down the new gear with a new $10 bolt straight from BMW, we reinstalled the valve cover. I gotta give a huge shout out to our friend Sam. If it wasn't for him, I'm not sure if I could have done the gear part of this. He helped me get the valve cover off. We replaced the gear and we put the valve cover back on last night, so now it's just my job to reverse all of the steps that I did before. As you guys can see, we have a disgusting amount of parts. I mean, S63 vacuum pump, there's brackets, there's bolts. We tried to label them with bags. There's fuel rails, there's new spark plugs, there's charge pipes, inlets, there's radiator fan, there's tons of plastics, there's expansion tank. I mean, you name it, you go underneath, you got downpipe heat shield, we got
ECU bracket, we got intakes. The list goes on. But at the end of the day, guys, it's just nuts and bolts, baby. It's just like Legos. Okay, guys, little update. The high pressure fuel pump is back on. Injectors are back in. I replaced the spark plugs because our friends over at Turner and ECS hooked us up with those spark plugs as well as these sick ignition coils. I already put the spark plugs in, but while the engine is completely torn apart, I thought there's not a better time to do this. Check these bad boys out. These things look sick and they're blue to match the theme of this car. Blue calipers, blue coils. So while I'm in here, thought, why not? So they literally just like slip right in. And right now, you're like, where's the connector? The connector's over here. We're not there yet, but they're easy to get to. I'm gonna plop them in right now. Plus, it's insurance that nothing drops into the hole. As a little update, we took apart the old vanos gear. Now this thing is the intricate inner workings of what makes the cam retard and advance, you know, via oil pressure. That's how this thing works. So here it is. We decided to take it apart. I want to show you what we found. So first things first, just take a moment. How sick is this? I mean, this is a factory billet part right here. I mean, look at that. Look at all the machining. It's like CNC'd. Like, this is a pretty like race car shit in a production car, which is pretty cool. Nonetheless, a lot of praise for a broken part. So the way this works is, God, the clearances are so tight. Hold on. So basically, the way this works is it takes oil pressure, and the way that it advances and retards is it moves this thing. And that's essentially all this thing does. It's actually fairly simple. But when we were taking it apart, look what we found. This was stuck into one of the little grooves that oil passes through in this thing, which, I mean, that could make it have low oil pressure and not read properly. That could totally have caused the code we were getting. It also could have made it so that this thing can't fully retard or advance. There's a lot of issues chunks of plastic and intricate parts can make. While I'm not 100% sure, I'm hopeful that this all wasn't for nothing, and this, you know, actually could have been causing the problem, and we actually possibly fixed it. Unfortunately, these things just are too complicated to take apart and fix. You kind of just need to replace them, which is what we did. But nonetheless, kind of cool to learn. I mean, not many people other than dealerships have taken apart these. Let's get back to the car. All right, we're about to put the fuel rail back in. What's pretty crazy is this thing comes basically sealed from the factory now. I think on the N63 these were bolted on to the fuel rail and now they're all fixed. So there's really no way I could misalign it. It only goes in one way, which, you know, thanks BMW. It has been a lot to get to this place. As far as I'm concerned, everything needed to get this motor to turn on and run is currently back in the motor. Now, we're missing a lot of bracing. I did just top off the coolant for the intercoolers and the water-cooled ECU system. Every wire, I believe, is plugged in. I just connected the battery. Now, off camera, we did prime the motor. Ideally, the point of that being, obviously the motor is already primed, but trying to get oil to that new cam gear. If not, I'm not 100% sure what would happen, but priming it's just kind of like a safe bet. So I believe all that's left to do is to crank it and start it. Just so you guys can understand this, when you turn on a car cold start, you know how the RPMs go up maybe to like 2,000, and then maybe after like 30 seconds it drops down to idle? That's always when this thing would throw a code. Basically, in that 30 seconds that the car is revving high, is when it would trip the computer and it would say that's not getting enough oil pressure and that the exhaust cam is too far retarded via vanos. If we can make it the entire cold start so that when it kicks down and there's no codes, then we might have fixed it. So let's start it.
Okay, hopefully the engine doesn't blow up. Start this bitch.
Going through the cold start procedure right now.
Hey, it didn't blow up.
Didn't blow up, so the timing must be fine, but the real truth is if we get a drivetrain malfunction. This is super stressful. Oh, you hear it just kick down? Okay, I think we did it. There's no check engine light. There's no drivetrain malfunction. I think we did it.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Holy shit.
Amazing. There was a good chance that this thing was gonna just blow up.
Dude, I thought it was gonna start spewing gas out, you know, everywhere, or leak fluids. It actually sounds better. I know this sounds crazy. We cleaned off the injectors. The car got new spark plugs. It got upgraded Turner ECS coils. It actually feels smoother. Guys, this is a huge accomplishment. I mean, we took this thing apart and put it back together, and not only did it not blow up, but we might have fixed the problem here. This means we could potentially modify the crap out of it and make it super, super fast.
The craziest thing is that we didn't really break anything in the process. That doesn't sound good. I think it needs more coolant in the.
Who cares? You know, whatever. That's fine. The engine runs. This is the engine runs, dude. Holy shit! I've never taken apart a car that much and put it back together. And we didn't break anything. When you work on these cars, you breathe on all the old plastic lines and they break. We didn't break anything. This is a huge accomplishment, guys. I'm a complete moron when it comes to working on these cars. I have zero formal training. The only training I have is just working on the car. There's no websites, there's no forums. The only thing that we used was the instructions from BMW that I got directly from BMW. It's like 30 bucks a day and it lets you read all the manuals. It's the service manuals. It's no different that you can get, I can get. We didn't have any other information given to us. I got the tooling set off Amazon. I mean, we did this as budget friendly as possible. We replaced the gear. I mean, we had to go in pretty deep and we put it all back together. And not only does it seem like it's running, I think we might have fixed the problem. I'm not getting the check engine light. I'm not getting the drivetrain malfunction. It's not saying there's any issues with the vanos anymore. I'm kind of in disbelief. I guess the only thing left to do is get some heat in this engine and go drive it. And then if it drives fine, then we could celebrate. Oh man, dude, I'm so in shock that the car turned on and worked. Like, I'm so happy right now. But before we can go out and drive it, as much as I want to drive it right this second, I gotta put all the bracing back, all the crap that goes here. I gotta put the underbelly panel back on that kind of holds everything and bolts it all together on the bottom of the car. Easy stuff. Just probably take me like 10 minutes. Just get all the plastics back in here, and then like the car will be 100% complete. So let's bang that out real quick and we'll go drive it. Okay guys, we're officially on the main road. After tearing apart into this engine for what felt like forever, we're on the road. All those moving parts are inside the motor right now. I don't hear any weird noises. It sounds fine. It's driving fine. It's not in limp mode anymore. I don't know, I'm kind of apprehensive, but I think we did it, guys. I think we friggin' did it. This car's been sitting, it's dusty, it looks terrible. This thing needs a proper car wash and detail, so let's do it. Guys, I can't believe we did it. We actually succeeded in taking apart the M5 S63 engine, disassembling pretty much half of it on one side, taking it all apart, replacing the back components, fixing it, putting it back together, and it runs. And not only does it run, the problem is gone. No more drivetrain malfunction. I can officially beat on the car once again. And you know what that means, guys. It means it's time for some more mods. Yeah, if you thought we were done with this build, you were wrong. We have a ton of mods coming for this car. We have a crazier tune. We got catless downpipes. This thing should sound insane. This is basically the engine that's in a lot of Ferraris and supercars. We got a full exhaust system. We got bigger intakes, baby. We got intercoolers. The list goes on, guys. This build's about to get taken to the next level. So if you guys want to see it, stick around. Episode will be out soon. And don't forget to check out our Patreon to see some exclusive and early access content on all of our builds. And don't forget to vote for our next project car. See you guys in the next one.